The Catholic Church and Reason, Part 2. By Reverend H. A. Johnston, S.J. A series of talks broadcast from 3AW Melbourne, July to December, 1935. The logical basis of the Catholic faith. The Catholic who was asked about the foundation of his religious beliefs would refer first to the authority of the Church. Then if you asked him why he accepted the authority of the Church, he would tell you that he did so because it taught with authority from God. Asked how he knew that, he would say that the Church was founded by Jesus Christ to teach in His name, and Christ was God. Pressed further to give reasons for this, he would say that we learn from certain trustworthy historical records, which we call Gospels, both that Christ was God and that He established a Church to convey His teaching to the world, that He gave it authority in spiritual matters over all men, and that He promised to preserve it from error. This is in outline the logical basis of the Catholic religion, which I wish to explain to you a little more fully, taking the steps in their natural order. Catholics give an important place in their scheme to faith, and faith means accepting information on the word of another. The faith of Catholics is divine faith, which means accepting truth on the word of God. This faith, which comes to us through the grace of God, is naturally very precious to us, and it is obviously a perfectly secure basis for religious belief, for whatever God teaches must be true. Our faith, however, is far from being a blind faith. We do not accept authority until we have proved that the authority is real. We are not like those, for instance, who base their religion on the Bible and the Bible alone, without being able to give any very logical explanation of why they do so. Our faith supposes the exercise of reason going before. The existence of God. We begin by proving the existence of God by sound and convincing arguments. By the use of our reason, we can also find out much about the nature of God. The Catholic Church, which, as I showed in a previous talk, is always the steadfast defender of the rights and powers of the human intellect, maintains firmly that we can prove by reason alone the existence of God, and can, by the use of our reason, learn much about the nature of God. Reason shows us, too, our total dependence, as creatures, on God and our foremost duty in this world to honor, serve, and obey God. We prove the existence of God, and we learn what reason can teach us about the nature of God from the observation and study of ourselves and the world about us. God reveals Himself in the things which He has created. It is to be remembered that the knowledge thus gained is imperfect and incomplete, because creatures cannot give us an adequate knowledge of God, seeing that He is infinitely superior to them and essentially different from them. Even when we shall see God face to face, we shall never be able to grasp more than a small portion of what there is to be known of God's greatness, power, goodness, and beauty, because our minds are finite, or limited, and God is infinite or unlimited. In this life God can, of course, if He wishes, reveal to us more about Himself than our unaided reason could discover, and He can make known more clearly and more fully what are His will and plans in our regard. If He does, we are, needless to say, bound to listen and obey. The only question is, has He done so? The Catholic maintains that He has done so, and that satisfactory evidence of this can be given. God has spoken. The evidence that God has spoken to us is contained chiefly in the Gospels, which are 4 short accounts of the life and teaching of Jesus Christ. Taking these 4 documents merely as historical records and judging them accordingly, we find that the most critical examination shows that they were really written in the lifetime of the generation which saw the events which they describe. Rationalist critics who wish to assign, and for years did assign later dates to the composition of the Gospels, have been forced systematically to make retreat after retreat from the positions which they took up. There is abundant proof that the Gospels were known and quoted from the 1st century on, and it cannot be denied that the Gospels are incomparably better attested than any other ancient historical records. Having proved that the Gospels are the genuine products of the age to which they refer, we next have to prove that they are trustworthy. They were written by men who were in a position to know the truth. But did they tell the truth? I can only say here that both the matter contained in the Gospels and the manner of telling and the confirming testimony of external sources of information, and the effect produced on contemporaries who were in a position to test the truth of the narrative, all combine to give us complete assurance that in the Gospels we have truthful history. I am not now going into the proof of each step of our case. I am only setting forth in outline the logical basis of the Catholic faith, to show that it is logical and reasonable. Next we have to consider what we can learn from these reliable historical documents, which we call the Gospels. It is something very wonderful. We learn of a man who was born of a virgin mother, and who proclaimed that he came on earth with a message from God to men. More than that, he claimed authority over all men because he was himself God, one in nature with the Father and the Holy Spirit. And the proof was not merely in the divine character of his teaching, but in his wonderful works and in his resurrection from the dead, and in the marvelous way in which, contrary to all human expectation, the religion which he founded triumphed over the most powerful adversaries. God the Son became man in order to redeem mankind, to make satisfaction for sin, and to elevate mankind by bestowing on men a special kinship with God, just as he in his one person united both divine and human natures. His divine plan was to incorporate all men in himself, thus forming one mysterious body of which he was the head. He instituted special means of grace in order to help man's weakness and bring about and strengthen that supernatural union with God, which was to be man's highest dignity. He brought to us, besides, a clearer and better knowledge of God, as well as of God's will in our regard. There is one true Church. How was the plan of Christ to be made effective for the generations that were to come? This is the important question. Christ himself did not live long. His public work was limited to a very short period, not much more than 2 or 3 years, and was confined to one small country. How were you and I to receive the benefits which Christ brought? Again we turn to the Gospels, and we learn that Jesus Christ established a body which he called his Church, and gave an order to the rulers of his Church to preach the good tidings to every creature and to the ends of the earth. That he gave authority to impose obligations in his name, ye to bind and loose, ye as the terminology was, and to hold the keys of the kingdom of heaven. This Church was to be for all ages, so Christ was careful to build it, as he said himself, on a rock, so that the gates of hell, or the powers of death and evil, might never prevail against it. He promised, too, that he would be with his Church for all time till the world should come to an end, and that he would send the Spirit of truth to abide with it forever. Along with this commission to the rulers of the Church to teach and guide went, naturally, an obligation on all mankind to accept the teaching and obey the authority set up. He that believes and is baptized will be saved. He that does not believe will be condemned. Immediately after the ascension of Christ into heaven and the descent of the Holy Spirit on the apostles, we find the Church in visible being. St. Peter and the other apostles set about their work of teaching and governing, and their successors continued the work of conveying to the people for whom Christ died the means of sanctification which he ordained, and of giving the teaching and guidance which he had commissioned them to give in his name. Built on a rock, the Church of Christ could never fall, no matter what storms raged around it, and with the ever-abiding presence of the Spirit of truth, it could not err in delivering Christ's message. And so today the teaching of the Church which Christ established can be listened to with the same confidence as when the apostles first went forth with their message. Christ is living in his Church, and when we listen to the Church, it is to the voice of Christ himself we are listening. He that hears you hears me, and he that despises you despises me. Faith and reason. I think, therefore, you must admit that the basis of the Catholic religion is a logical one. The Catholic Church, and, I may add, Catholic Church alone, preserves a right balance between reason and authority, taking a sane course between unlicensed liberty of opinion, which produces such sad results, and blind adherence to a theory, which cannot withstand serious attack from the forces of unbelief. The Catholic Church wants us to use our reason. There is much we have to prove by reason before we can accept the authority of the Church, and the Church herself encourages us to understand her doctrines and the proofs on which they rest as well as we can. We prove by reason the genuineness of the Gospels and their veracity. From them we prove the divinity of Christ and the purpose for which he came on earth. From them we learn that he did not leave it to every individual throughout the course of history to interpret for himself the meaning and application of his life and teaching. He took the practical means, the necessary means as would appear, of founding a teaching body to which he gave his own authority, promising it stability and freedom from error when it spoke authoritatively in his name, because on its permanence and truthful teaching would depend the salvation of all future generations. So, once I am sure that the Church teaches authoritatively certain doctrine as of divine origin, I owe the same submission to the authority of the Church as I owe to Christ himself. And in my submission to her authority, I have the assurance that the Church which he founded to guide me can no more lead me astray than could Jesus Christ himself. A great gift. What a consolation it is to know that the infallible and imperishable Church which Christ established exists today, and must exist through all ages, and that through her we are as closely in touch with him as were those who heard him speak. From her we receive those supernatural helps which our human weakness so badly needs. By her we are led securely amid the storms which passion raises, amid the darkness with which our human intellects must often be surrounded, through a laud in which we live as exiles, to an eternal home. It is the duty of every man to be a member of Christ's Church. For us who have received, through no merit of our own, but through the grace of God alone, the gift of the true faith, it is our most precious privilege. Catholic doctrines are reasonable. In my last talk I explained the logical basis of the Catholic religion, and showed that when the Catholic Church teaches any doctrines authoritatively, we are acting in a perfectly reasonable manner when we accept that doctrine as true, because Jesus Christ, who was God, established the Church to teach in his name, and guaranteed it against error in doing so. It is not strictly necessary to go any further than that in order to establish the reasonableness of our position. However, it may be well to make clear that though Catholics regard the authority of the Church as the chief and sufficient ground for their faith, they do not by any means exclude other motives and arguments. It is not to be thought that Catholics are expected to shut their eyes and open their mouths and take whatever doctrines are given them. I have already said that the Church is anxious that we should study and understand the doctrines of our religion and the arguments on which they rest. Just as an example, I will take one doctrine, and that not an easy one, and show that in itself it is reasonable, because it is supported by sound and reasonable arguments. We Catholics believe that at the words of consecration in the Mass, pronounced by a validly ordained priest, that which was bread and wine becomes, through the power of God, the body and blood of Jesus Christ. We believe, consequently, that Jesus Christ is as truly present in the blessed Eucharist as he is in heaven, or as he was when he walked on earth. Why do we believe this? The blessed Eucharist. We have 4 accounts of the institution of the blessed Eucharist, 3 in the Gospels and 1 in St. Paul, and all are in substantial agreement. We learn that at his Last Supper, one of the most solemn moments of his life, Jesus took bread and wine, blessed them, and gave to his apostles, with the words, "This is my body, this is my blood. Do this in memory of me." I know that some have said that Jesus Christ was on this occasion speaking figuratively, and I cannot stop to argue the point, for I am not now primarily proving that our doctrine is certainly true, but that it is a reasonable one, based on arguments that merit serious consideration. When the Son of God said, "This which I am giving you is the flesh which is offered for you and the blood which is poured out for you," surely it is not unreasonable, to say the least, to take the words in their obvious
by
literal
the Reverend
meaning, if there is
Bertrand
no
Wilberforce,
compelling reason to the contrary.
O.P.
I mention
Saint
in
Pius
passing
was
that
one of
those
the many
who refuse
saints
to take
raised
them
up
in their
by
literal
Almighty
sense
God
to
to
be
not
pillars
agree
of the
in
Church
what precise
amidst the
sense to
calamities
take them.
of the 16th century.
I could, however,
Understand a person
1504,
being held
in the
back by the
pontificate of
thought
Julius
of the tremendous
II, the
import
Pope who
of the
began the
doctrine.
erection of St. Peter's
It
Basilica,
might seem almost
elected
too good
Pope
to be
himself
true.
in 1566.
Is there anything
and
elsewhere
dying in
in the life and
1572,
teaching of Christ
he saw the
that would
greater part
prepare
of that
us for
eventful
such an
century?
astounding declaration? Between the date of his birth
Just a
and that
year
of his
before
election
he had
to
been
the seat of
speaking in the
St. Peter,
synagogue of
as many
Capernaum,
as 9 popes
and had
governed
promised
the
a better
Church.
food than
Leo
the manna,
X,
with which the Israelites
who condemned
had been
Luther
fed in the desert,
and Clement VII being of
"Eat
the
the
number.
bread that I will give is my
He was
flesh."
born in the reign of Henry
he
VII
said.
of England. Was
This
a child of
extraordinary
5
statement
when Henry
drew
VIII
forth
ascended the
immediate
throne.
opposition.
Lived through the reigns
How
of
can
Edward
this man
VI
give
and
us
Mary,
his flesh to eat?
became pope when Elizabeth had been
Did
8
Jesus
years as
withdraw
queen,
or
and
moderate
died
what
during
he
her
had
reign?
said?
His
No,
lot therefore
he repeated
was
it
cast
even
in
more
troubled
plainly and
times.
forcibly,
And as a champion
in
of God
very
and the
truth
Church,
I say to you,
he saw much
except
active
you eat
service
the flesh of the
and
Son of
enjoyed
Man,
few
and
peaceful
drink his
days.
blood, you will not have life in
His
you.
family name was Ghislieri.
Many, even
his
of his
birthplace,
disciples,
the little
we
town
are
of
told,
Bosco,
said,
not far from
this saying is
Alexandria
hard.
in Lombardy.
Who can accept it?
His family,
and they went
though
away
of
in
noble
descent,
descent, never
had
to
been
return.
reduced to poverty.
They
And his
understood
father's
his
whole
words
property
literally,
was a
and
small
he did not
vineyard and a
correct
flock
them.
of sheep.
He let them go.
The saint was born in
Just
1504, and
supposing
received in
he had
baptism
wished to
the
teach
name
the
of
doctrine
Michael,
of his real
a fitting
presence
name
in the
for
Blessed
one
Eucharist.
destined to be so brave
Could
a
he have
warrior
done so
and
more
captain
clearly
in the
and
cause
more
of God
emphatically?
and the Church?
With this scene and these
His
words in
boyhood
our
was
minds,
past. Are we not
like
better
that of
prepared
David,
to understand
in keeping
what
his
Christ
father's
said a
sheep,
year later
but
at
his
the Last
desire to
Supper?
devote his life to the
You
service
take
of
and eat
God
of this,
sprang up
for
very
this is
early
my
in his
body.
mind, and he spent
What
much
our
of his
Lord
time
said
in
at
humble prayer
Capernaum
that a
was
vocation to
indeed
the
hard
priesthood
doctrine
might be
for
vouchsafed
those who
to
had
him.
never dreamt of such a
The
thing.
poverty of his parents
But we
appeared
must
an
remember
insuperable
that only the
difficulty,
day before they
but
had
God,
seen him feed
who intended the
5,000
young
men,
shepherd to become the
and women
universal
and children
pastor,
in addition,
led 2
with 5
Dominican
loaves
religious
and
to
2
his father's
fishes.
house. After such a
Charmed with the
manifestation,
boy, they
of
offered to
divine
educate
power,
him
there was
gratuitously,
less excuse
and
for
Michael,
those who abandoned
with his father's
Christ,
blessing,
because they found
joyfully
his doctrine
accompanied
hard
them,
to accept.
rapidly progressed
Testimony
in his studies,
of the first
and made his
centuries.
profession in the convent of Vagra on
I could
May
still have
18,
sympathy with the man who would
1521.
say, "Ye the words."
Only 2 days
indeed,
before,
in themselves seem
Ignatius
clean,
Loyola
but
was
also,
wounded at
it
Pamplona.
seems too wonderful that under the
Leo
appearance
X
of bread
was
or
Pope,
wine I am
and
given
Luther
the body,
had just burnt
blood,
the papal bull,
soul and
declared
divinity
war
of the
against the
Redeemer
Church,
of the world.
so that God was secretly
I should not
preparing
dare to
2
take
saints
this meaning
to
out
oppose
of
the
the
enemy.
words, plain as they
After
appear to
completing
be,
his course of studies
on my own
and
responsibility.
taking degrees in philosophy and
I
theology,
should like some further
he was
support.
appointed to read these sacred
How,
sciences
for
with the
instance,
students in the
did
convents
the early
of Reggio,
Church receive
Pavia,
and
and
interpret
Parma,
these words?
an office he fulfilled to the
The
satisfaction
question
of all.
is a reasonable one.
At Parma
and
he
is
defended
easily
publicly
answered.
before the fathers of the
There
provincial
is,
chapter 30
naturally,
propositions,
not a great
directed
deal
against
of
the
Christian
recent
literature
errors of Luther,
surviving from the
and the
early
auditors
days of the
agreed in their
Church,
applause of
but
the
there is
learning and
enough for
talent
our
combined
purpose.
with genuine modesty and
St.
humility.
Paul,
Of the young
who
professor,
belonged to the first generation
who received
of Christians,
the degree of master
writes,
in theology.
"Ye whoever eats this bread
His
and drinks
diligence
this
was
cup
extreme,
unworthily,
and his
is
application
responsible for the body and
incessant.
blood of the Lord.
Idleness
that
he
is,
held in
is
detestation,
guilty of an offense
and all the
against the body
recreation
and
he
blood of the
needed was
Lord."
the change of serious
I
pursuits,
Coríntios X,
from scientific study to
28.
spiritual reading, from prayer
Saint
to
Ignatius
active
the
works
martyr,
of charity,
who died less than a
his
century
observance
after
of
our
rule
Lord,
was exact,
wrote concerning a
his
sect
conviction
called the
being that
Doceti,
penance
who
was a
denied the
necessary
reality
law
of our
until
Lord's
the
human
end of
body.
life. Should they abstain
During the
from
whole of
Eucharist
his life,
because
as
they do not
religious,
confess that
he
the
never ate
Eucharist
meat,
is the flesh of our
kept
Savior,
most carefully the
Jesus
long
Christ,
fast
from September
that
till
suffered
Easter,
for us,
and rose for midnight
Saint
matins
Justin
with
Martyr,
unfailing
who died about
regularity.
50 years later,
During the many
167,
years in
in which he was
is equally
engaged in
explicit.
teaching, The
we have been taught
constitutions
that the
dispensed
food
him from
consecrated
night
by the word of prayer,
but he
coming
would never
from Jesus
avail
Christ,
himself of the dispensation,
is the flesh and blood of
saying
that
that
Jesus
it would only
Christ who has
encourage
made
the
flesh
flesh to rebel against the Spirit.
Go on some 20 years
as
further
prior,
to the great
at different
Irenaeus,
times,
who was
in
the
the convents
disciple
of
of
Aguano,
those who had known the
Soncino
apostles.
and Alba,
In the province
he
of
writes,
Lombardy, one of his principal
wine and
aims
bread
was to
are,
promote by the
earnest
word of
and
God,
constant study of
changed
Scripture
into the
and
theology
theology, which
among
is the
the
body
religious,
and blood of Christ.
for he considered sacred learning
I
as an
could go
essential
on
part
and
of the
give
spirit
even
of
more
the order
striking
of Saint
quotations
Dominic
from Saint Hippolytus.
He devoted
in the
himself
early
with
part of the
burning
3rd
zeal to the
century
duty of preaching.
from Saint Gregory
And
of
when thus
Nyssa
engaged,
and St.
he used to travel on foot,
Cyril of Jerusalem
keeping silence
in the 4th
so that,
century,
like Saint Dominic,
and the same
he might
doctrine
converse
is proclaimed
with equal clearness
during
and
the period of
emphasis
his
by
office
St.
as superior at Alba.
John Chrysostom,
An opportunity presented
St.
itself for the display
Cyril
of that
of
intrepid
Alexandria,
courage and determination,
Saint Hilary,
which was
Saint
one
Ambrose,
of his most remarkable
Saint
characteristics,
Augustine, and all the great fathers
300
of the church.
ruffians,
Disbanded
therefore,
soldiers of the
in
French
taking
army,
the words of Scripture
presented themselves
according to their
one
plain
day
meaning,
before the gates of the
I am in
convent of
good
the Dominican
company,
nuns, with the
Later
intention
history.
of plundering the house and insulting the poor helpless
For
sisters.
century after century,
the
Father
doctrine
Michael
of
was
the
happily
real
at
presence
hand,
remained,
and,
beyond
fearlessly
all
meeting
dispute,
them at the door,
the center
commanded
of the faith
them,
and worship
with an
of the
air
church,
of great authority, to
even the
depart at
Nestorians
once,
and Monophysites,
threatening them with the anger of
heretics
God
who
if
broke
they dared
away
to
from
molest
Rome
the
in the
nuns.
5th century, and the
Cowed
Greeks,
by his words
whose
and the
schism
courage
began
he
in the 9th
displayed,
century.
they changed
Receiving
their
no
purpose
influence
and
from
left
Rome
the
afterwards,
convent in peace.
retained and still retain
The
their
governor
belief
of
in the
Milan
real
appointed
presence.
Father Michael his almoner.
The first
And
falling
though
away
large
of
sums
any
of money
consequence
thus passed
came
through
in the
his hands,
16th century,
he steadily
with the
refused to
Lutherans,
accept any
Calvinists,
personal gift,
and
Zwinglians.
even for his community he would only
Luther
allow
could not at
alms
first
of
bring
a small
himself
value.
to deny the doctrine,
though
he
he
would
would
not
not
accept
accept
the
the
gift of a cloak to
because,
protect him
as
from
he
the
said,
rain.
I
Though
saw
he was
that in
obliged
that way,
to walk
I should
many
have been
miles
able to
to
give
hear the
Popery
confession
greatest
of the
slap
governor.
in the face.
"He is superior,
I cannot
Gilles
get
he
over
used
it,
to say,
he said.
He is bound
The
to set an
text is
example
too
to his
powerful.
subjects. No words
and to
can
avoid
change its
all the
meaning.
inconveniences of poverty,
And he poured
with the reputation
ridicule
on the
being
views
poor
of Calvin,
is absurd.
Zwingli, and
The
others.
next office entrusted to
He
Father
himself
Michael
was
however,
one of much importance,
soon fell into error
and
on this
entailed
point,
constant
as on
labor
so many
and
others,
vigilance, and his views became confused.
He was appointed
and
inquisitor for the
contradictory.
north of Italy,
But while the
and one of his
rejection of
special
authority
duties
and the
was
principle
to
of
prevent
private
the introduction
judgment
opened
of
the way
heretical
to every
books
variety
through the
and
passes
confusion
of
of
Alps,
opinion,
the unchanging
very
church
name of
which
the
Christ
Inquisitor
established
has
never
an
wavered
evil
in
sound in this
maintaining the
country,
doctrine of the real
and
presence,
even many
which
Catholics
it had
have
held
vague
from the
ideas
beginning, as to the functions
as
of
I
the
have already
Inquisition.
said.
I am not now
Speaking
engaged
broadly,
expressly
the
in
Inquisitor
proving
was
the
the
truth
public
of this
guardian
doctrine
of the faith and morals
I am
of the
showing
people,
only that the doctrine is a
without
reasonable
attempting
one,
to write an
because
apology
based
for the
on
Inquisition,
arguments which would command
it may
the
be
respect
useful
of
to
any
state the
reasonable
principle
man
upon which it was founded.
Of course, if you insist
we must
on
remember
taking
then
the
that
words
what
of
is
Holy
called in our
Scripture in a
days
sense
irreligious
other than their
liberty,
natural one,
that is,
if you can
the
disregard
supposed
the
right
belief
of
everyone
the early
not
church,
only to believe in
if
his
you
own
decide
mind,
to attribute no
but
weight
also
to
to
the
teaching
teaching
of
of
the
the
fathers, his own
if you
opinions
make up your
upon
mind to
revealed
go
truth,
counter to the unbroken
however
tradition
repugnant
of
those
centuries,
opinions may be to the
if you are
doctrines
able
of the
to
church,
suppose that the church
was
which
utterly
Christ
unknown
promised would have
anywhere
the
in the
guidance of
16th
the Spirit
century,
of truth,
aired
there
about
was
a
only
doctrine
one
of
primary
throughout
importance
Christendom,
throughout
with
the
the
whole
Pope
of
at
her
its head.
history.
The church
If you
was
can do all
acknowledged
this,
by all as
I
a
admit
spiritual kingdom
then
founded by
that
Christ,
you can deny the doctrine
teaching and
of the
ruling
real
by his
presence
authority,
of Jesus Christ,
and all
in the
men
Blessed
considered it the
Eucharist.
duty not only of the
But
church,
would you say that
but of the
such a
secular
position
government
was
also,
reasonable?
to prevent heresy from being
Bold,
preached or
startling,
disseminated by books
revolutionary,
among the people, if you like.
All government was then what
But
we should call
reasonable,
paternal.
On the other
as only
hand,
one church
I
and
think
one
I am not
revealed doctrine
extravagant
was
in claiming,
recognized. As
it
a
was
result of
considered
the
high
arguments
treason
which I have
against
put
God
before
and
you,
the authority of
that
the
the
state
belief
to
of
allow
Catholics
false
is a
doctrine
reasonable
to be
one.
preached. And
A
that,
father of a
I
family
may
would
remind
consider
you,
himself
is
guilty
what I set out
if
to
he
show
allowed
in this series
blasphemous
of
talks
or moral books to be
that the
introduced
Catholic
into
religion
his house
is
or
based
taught to
on
his
reason,
children, and at that time all authorities, ecclesiastical
But are there
and lay,
not great
considered it
difficulties
not only
concerning
their
this
right,
doctrine,
but their
which we are
positive
discussing?
duty to prevent the spread of
Oh,
heresy,
certainly,
and to punish it
because
as a
God
crime.
can do many things that
to
I
prevent
cannot
the
understand.
introduction of heretical books
I do not,
into
however,
Italy was
one of the
refused to
duties
believe
of father.
on that account.
Michael's office.
Do I understand the mystery of the
His headquarters
incarnation
were at
itself,
and he
of
was
which
often
the blessed
obliged to make
Eucharist
laborious
is a
journeys
development?
on foot, over
Can
ice
I
and snow in
understand the
winter,
miracle of the
along
feeding
dangerous
of the
ravines and
5,000?
steep mountain paths,
Even in
and
the
under the
natural
burning
order?
sun in summer?
Can I
But
understand
his
why a
last
planet
thought was to
hundreds of
spare
millions
himself
of miles
when
away
the
from
interests
the
of
sun
souls
is
were
kept
at
on its
stake?
course round the sun?
He was ever ready to
I
preach,
can utter the word
instruct,
gravitation,
exhort.
But can
But
I
with his
give any
companion
real
on the way he
explanation?
conversed but little, Analyze
only
common
on
spiritual things,
and you will find nothing at all in it except
early
sodium
in 1551,
the business of his
sodium
office
is a metal
brought
which
Father
ignites
Michael to
when
Rome.
thrown in water.
Some
And
months of
chlorine
that
is a
year
poisonous
he spent in
gas.
peaceful retirement
Can
and
I
prayer
understand
in the convent
how,
of Saint
when
Sabina,
these substances are chemically combined,
he was now 47,
they form a palatable
and this short
and useful
breathing
addition
time was
to our
evidently
food?
appointed for him to prepare
I am not
him for the
surprised
labors
if
that
there are
awaited him in the
difficulties
future
for my human
and
intellect
increased with
in any
every
of
year of
God's
his
works.
works.
It
was as if
requires
our
a good
Lord
deal
had
of
said to
knowledge
him,
and study to understand,
come apart
even
into
and
a desert
formulate the
place
difficulties
and rest a
which
little.
are to be found in the doctrine
The
of the
cell
real
he
presence.
sanctified by his
And I think
prayer
we
and
have a right
penance
to demand
during
that
these
those
precious
who raise
months
objections
has been
should
changed
know what
into
they
a
are talking
chapel.
about. In June,
A certain
the
dignitary
commissary
said
of
in
the
the
Holy
course of
Office
controversy
died,
last year,
and, by the
concerning
influence
the
of
Eucharistic
Cardinal
Congress,
Carafa,
that it was
Father
absurd
Michael
to
suppose
suppose
that
that
God
God
could
could
be
be
occupied
confined
within the
important
limits
and
of a high
dignified
position.
For some time he
believes that
lodged
Christ
in the Cardinal's
is God.
palace, but with all
Does
the
he
simplicity
suppose that
and
the
poverty
Godhead
of his
is
convent life,
confined within the human
moved
nature
with the
of
most tender
Christ?
compassion for the poor
The
criminals
plea of knowing no
confined in the
philosophy or
ecclesiastical
theology
prisons
is no
he
excuse
visited them
for
talking
constantly
sheer nonsense,
doing his
about
utmost
Catholic
to win their
doctrines,
confidence and their souls.
common sense and good
Above
will.
all, he instructed them most
I have
patiently
often thought
and
it
carefully
strange,
in matters of
though
faith,
significant,
and left no
that the
argument
Catholic
untried to
doctrine
convert
of the
them,
Blessed Eucharist
while his
can
prayers
excite
for them
such
were
bitter
unceasing
opposition.
night and day.
At the
First,
fact that
sign
we can
of good
sincerely,
disposition,
devoutly,
he showed them
and,
every mark
as I
of
have
kindness,
shown,
and
not
invited them to
unreasonably,
dine at his own
believed
table.
that in the Blessed Eucharist
Cardinal
Jesus Christ
Carafa
is as
became
truly
Pope
present
in
with us as when he lay in the manger at Bethlehem
under the
or
title
taught at
of
Capernaum
Paul IV,
or hung on the cross.
During the conclave,
And that we receive him really,
the whole authority
under the
vested
appearance
in the
of bread,
cardinals of the Holy
as the
Office
food of our
was
souls,
entrusted Carlo,
should, it appears
and
to
out
me,
of respect to the
excite
late
envy
Pope.
rather than attack.
It was some time
Would you
before
not
he
wish
could
to
be
be able
induced
to
to utter
believe
the
a
word,
doctrine which can bring so
we
much
accept,
consolation
prescribed
and
by the
spiritual
ceremonial,
strength,
and when at last he did so,
by the fruits
it was
the
with a
tree
profound
is known,
sigh, repeating several times,
If I could
as
let
a
those
simple
of you
friar,
who are not Catholics
I had great
see,
hopes of
not
salvation,
merely external
as a
results
bishop,
like our
I had
thronged
much
churches,
fear,
but as
the
Pope,
heartfelt
how can I
devotion to
hope?
Jesus Christ that springs from
The
our
coronation
doctrine
of
of
the
the
new
new
Pope
Pope
took
took
place
I
on
think
January
that you could not
7,
fail to have more sympathy with the
1566,
doctrine,
the anniversary of his
if I
birth
could make
and
manifest
baptism.
to you the purity and
He was
holiness of
62
life that are
years
fostered
old.
among the young people in our
He
boarding
began his
schools
reign by
the
abundant
practice of daily
alms,
communion,
but instead
and
of
by
having
the
gold
intimacy with our
pieces
Lord,
thrown to the crowd,
which results from
according
frequent
to
visits
custom,
to the Blessed
he
Sacrament,
distribute
and
double
leave
the
you to
ordinary
compare
amount
this
with
with
what is
persons
likely to
known to
happen,
be deserving,
and so commonly happens.
Moreover, in
when
place
such
of
helps are
expending a
absent.
large sum yearly in
I do
providing
not
a banquet
think that
for
any
cardinals
good man
and
or woman
ambassadors,
would ever say
he
a word
bestowed it on
against
the
our
poor,
doctrine,
saying,
even though he
the
or she
sovereign
personally
judge
was
will
not
not able
reproach
to
me for
believe
not
it.
feasting the rich.
I
But
have
he
taken
would,
this doctrine,
were I to
as
neglect
I have
the poor.
said, only as
When
an
told
example.
that many trembled when they heard
What
of his
I want to
election,
make clear is
owing
that
to
the
his
Catholic
reputation
faith
for
is
severity
reasonable,
and inflexible
not only
justice,
because the Catholic
he
position
replied,
as a whole is a
"Ye,
logical
by the grace
one,
of God,
having
I
as
will
its
treat
main
them so
foundation
kindly
the divine
that
authority
they will be
given
more
to the Catholic
afflicted at my
Church by
death
its founder,
than they are now frightened
but also
at my
because
election."
every single individual
On the day
Catholic
that he went in
doctrine has a
solemn
reasonable
procession to the
explanation
Basilica
and
of St.
defense.
John Lateran, to take possession of
Look
it
on
as
this
Bishop
picture,
of Rome,
and on
he
that.
recognized in the crowd one
If
of the
a religion
inhabitants
is
of
to claim
Bosco,
the
named
serious
Francis
attention of
Bottoni,
men,
it
who had
must have
formerly
a
done him
reasonable
some little
foundation.
services. It is
The
because
humble
the
are
Catholic
always
religion
grateful,
is based
and the
on
Holy
reason,
Father,
and appeals
calling
to
Bottoni
reason
to
that
his
you are
litter,
asked to take an
gave him
interest
his
in
blessing,
it. Reminding him
In my
of the
last
kindness
two
he had
talks, I
shown
was
him
engaged
when
in
a simple
showing
religious,
that the Catholic
and
religion,
appointed him governor
both as
of
the
the
castle
castle
of
of
Saint
and in
Angelo,
several parts, really is
peasant-like
based on
manner,
reason, who had sheltered him
I
during
wish
the
now to
night
strengthen
when
the
he was
claim
flying
of the
from
Catholic
those
Church
who sought
in this
his life
respect
near
by
Bergamo,
showing that not
was
only
sent
does
for
she
by the
possess
Pope,
this characteristic,
as he stood
but that she
abashed before
possesses
the pontiff,
it exclusively,
not knowing why he had been
no
summoned.
other
The
form
Holy
of
Father
religious
said,
belief
with a most
has a
kind
logical
expression,
foundation.
"Ye, my good man,
I
you
will
do not
try,
recognize
in
me.
what I have to say,
I am that Dominican
to avoid
religious
all
whom you
matter of
sheltered
dispute
16
and
years
refer
ago.
only to acknowledged
I have never
facts.
forgotten your kind hospitality.
The facts will,
and desire to
I
make
think,
you some return.
make clear that whatever may be said in
He
favor
then
of
ordered
other
an
forms
abundant
of
dowry
religion
to be given to the
and I
man's
have
two
not
daughters,
the slightest desire
gave
to
him
attack
500
them.
crowns
They
for
cannot
himself, appeal to logic
and
for
had
their
lodgings
support.
in the Vatican provided
And
for
I
him
give a plain
as long
reason
as he
for
remained
what I
in
say.
Rome.
In
A
his
logical
description of the
system
character
must
of
be
the Holy
consistent.
Pope, it
Cardinal
cannot
Newman
contain contradictions. A logical system must recognize a difference between a yes, and je no, and must not answer yes, and je no to the same question. A logical system must move to definite conclusions by an intelligible process of reasoning. Restricting myself to this one point Without going into troublesome questions of history and problems of origins, or taking up any particular doctrines in detail, I will show that non-Catholic religious systems, as opposed to the Catholic religion, are illogical because they are inconsistent. They cannot be based on reason because they are full of contradictions. Seen against this background, the logical character of Catholicism will stand out all the more clearly. Harmony or discord. At a summer school for Anglican clergy in England as late as July last, 1935, one of the speakers, after quoting St. Paul, if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself for the battle? He went on to say, for the last 400 years there has been a measure of uncertainty as to what tune the Anglican trumpet is going to choose for its clarion call. The period mentioned, I may interpolate, is the whole lifetime of Anglicanism. At the moment, the speaker continued, the Anglican orchestra is playing 4 distinct tunes: Catholic, Moderate, Anglican, Modernist, and Evangelical. It is sometimes maintained that the combination results in the achievement of a gorgeous polyphonic melody, But it is foolish to deceive ourselves into thinking that this is the impression which the general public is receiving. The world today hears not harmony, but discord. In its ears the sound of the Anglican trumpet resembles the painstaking efforts of a brigade of Boy Scout buglers. There is much expenditure of breath, and a brave display of individual effort, but there is no agreement among the performers either as to the tune or as to the time, and there is an unfortunate lack of conviction about the high notes. I have been quoting, let me remind you, an Anglican clergyman addressing a number of other Anglican clergymen not many months ago. The only comment I make is that 4 tunes would appear to be an understatement. I should think it a more accurate comparison to say that the orchestra was playing the works of 4 different composers, suppose Bach, Beethoven, Mendelssohn, and Stravinsky, and every player was choosing the work of these composers which he liked best. Is this an exaggeration? I open an Anglican church paper and look at the advertisements offering positions to clergymen. Here are some of the types sought for: Catholic, Anglo-Catholic, Sound Catholic, Fully Catholic, Simple Catholic, Thorough Catholic, Sensible Prayer Book Catholic, Sane Catholic, Evangelical Catholic, Liberal Catholic, Catholic-minded, Catholic without being extreme, the whole faith, no extremes, moderate views, not moderate, evangelical, liberal evangelical. A definite churchman, sound churchman, moderate churchman, very moderate churchman, central churchman, broad churchman, churchman, but with flexibility, open-minded. And remember, these are all taken from one particular paper, the organ of one particular party, where you would expect some kind of uniformity. What would the result be if I quoted from a variety of papers? The points of difference. But it might he thought that the diversities and inconsistencies are concerned with matters of slight importance. On the contrary, all the main doctrines of Christianity are in question. The divinity of Christ is the central point of Christianity, and there is not agreement even about that. The birth of Jesus Christ of a Virgin Mother and his resurrection from the dead are accepted by some Anglicans as plain facts, for others they are fables. To some the Scriptures are the Word of God, and therefore free from error. To others they are human documents of varying value. Some recite the Athanasian Creed and believe it. Others recite it and do not believe it. Others refuse to recite it. One small section will grant a primacy by right divine to the Pope. The most fervent prayer of others is one which it might be unbecoming to quote here. Some hold the Catholic doctrine of sacraments and sacramental grace. to others this is magic. Some urge the practice of sacramental confession. To others this is a symbol of all that is wicked. The doctrine of eternal punishment is certainly true for some, certainly false for others. In some Anglican churches we have so-called e-mass e. Those who stick to the 39 Articles regard masses as a blasphemous fables and dangerous deceits. Some Anglicans believe in the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist, and believe he is to be adored there. Others regard this as idolatry. Some offer prayers for the dead. Others look on this as superstition. Some regard the doctrines of the established Church of England as no matter for parliamentary decision. The late Archbishop Davidson of Canterbury said, "I dissent altogether from that view and dissociate myself from those statements." Some regard the Reformation as the greatest blessing England ever received. Others cannot find words strong enough to express their detestation of it. Many allow remarriage after divorce. Others hold this to be sinful. Many side with Catholics to uphold the purity of married life. A majority of more than 3-to-1 of Anglican bishops gave approval to what we hold to be, and hold can be proved to be, unnatural vice. What one bishop teaches another denies. I once took up an Anglican church paper to find a letter from the retired predecessor of a diocesan bishop in which I read, "I must be forgiven if I definitely state that I do not believe the Church of England authorizes the church teaching put forward by my successor." The fact admitted. Did time allow, I could give chapter and verse to illuminate all these views and many shades of opinion in between. I could, for example, instance a recent edition of the Gospel of St. Luke, brought out by an Anglican clergyman under the general editorship of an emeritus professor of divinity at the University of Cambridge, which openly scoffs at the miraculous and the supernatural in the Gospel, quotes a non-Christian as its most approved authority, denies the truth of large portions of the narrative, and apologizes for using capital letters in pronouns referring to Jesus Christ. And the instructions of the general editor to the particular editor of this text were, My idea of your book is that you could write as though you had your boys before you and were actually teaching." The seriousness of the situation is recognized by the Anglicans themselves. The quotation which I gave early in this talk is not unique. As long ago as 1913 Bishop Gore wrote to the Times, London, I do seriously think that, unless the great body of the Anglican Church can again speedily arrive at some statement of principle such as will avail to pull it together again in a unity comprehensive, but intelligible, it will go the way to certain disruption. And the position has by no means improved since then. For the moment, wrote the Church Times a few years ago, we must accept the fact of the comprehensiveness of the Church of England, even though we may believe that Catholicism and Protestantism are mutually contradictory and mutually destructive. Bishop Knox, an uncompromising Protestant, wrote in 1928, "For nearly half a century there have been within the Church of England teachers and followers of what are fundamentally two distinct religions. This situation has been recognized as scandalous by all who believe that a church ought to teach consistent truth in all matters essential to salvation. Authority lacking. It is much the same in other denominations." I had occasion once before to quote the reply of the Methodist Times, London, to the charges that Methodism was abandoning the old, sound Christian beliefs that had been its strength. They were proud of it, because a living church must change. Within the last few months, a distinguished young Methodist minister in England, Mr. T.S. Gregory, entered the Catholic Church. In the course of a letter to the Methodist Times, which, by the way, is edited by his cousin, he writes, "I heard responsible members of the Church openly doubt the deity of Christ, the resurrection of the dead, and the life of the world to come. and when I asked what authority decided how much of the Christian faith a Methodist must believe, I was told by a distinguished and saintly leader of Methodist thought that Methodism had no dogmatic authority. We have heard ourselves an Australian Presbyterian, in a position of authority as a teacher, deny the divinity of Christ, and practically every important distinctively Christian doctrine. And there was no agreement among his fellow Presbyterians whether he was right or wrong, whether he was to be tolerated or not. The abandonment of reason. Many nowadays give up the struggle and abandon all definite doctrine, making of religion a kind of jelly ash. How often do we hear from writers who have more fluency of pen than power of logical thought, that Christianity is not a system of dogma, but a way of life? But this is only going still further along the road of absurdity. Of what use is sentiment if there is no fact behind it? Why be loyal to Jesus Christ if we do not know who he was or what was his authority? A Christ did not teach any doctrines, we are told. What nonsense! Christ taught and proved that he was God. He taught the mystery of the blessed Trinity. He taught that he came down from heaven to give himself for the remission of sin. He taught the necessity of baptism. He taught the doctrine of eternal punishment. He taught the indissolubility of marriage. He said that the bread which he would give was his flesh. He taught the doctrine of eternal life with God. He taught the obligation of listening to the church which he founded. The dogma of no dogma at all is a counsel of despair and the surrender of all pretense of reason. I know there are many good and earnest people outside the Catholic Church who love Jesus Christ and hate what is evil. But they are in an illogical position. Christ gave to his church authority to teach. It is illogical for a follower of Christ to be where there is obviously no teaching authority. Christ told the rulers of his church to teach men to observe all that he had commanded. It is illogical to suppose that this commission is being carried out where men can believe just what they fancy. Christ said that the Spirit of truth would be with his church forever. It is illogical, and worse, to suppose that the Spirit of truth is dwelling where contradictions are taught and believed. Look on this picture and on that. On the one hand you have the Catholic Church, with a clear and logical position, possessing authority and exercising it, teaching the same doctrine consistently in all places and at all times. On the other hand you have inconsistency, contradiction, and absence of authority. On which side does reason lie? I can safely leave you to give the answer for yourselves. A practical test. I have been speaking on the subject of the Catholic Church and reason because we are, on the whole, reasonable beings. And, especially in an important matter like religion, men want sound thinking. It is true that our lives are not ruled altogether by reason. Early associations and training, habits of thought acquired in a haphazard way, family and personal influences, and, unfortunately, prejudice and self-interest, prevent reason from being the sole determining factor in our lives. But still, reason plays an important part. Hence, if we could put a reasonable case before people who were sufficiently interested and sufficiently unbiased, we should expect that it would win the acceptance of a considerable number. Now, if what I have been saying about the Catholic Church is true, if in reality the Catholic Church has a reasonable ease to present, I should expect this to have manifest results. In spite of the obvious difficulties that there are in putting the Catholic case before those who are outside the Catholic Church, difficulties with which I dealt early in this series of talks, I should expect to find a steady influence exerted by the Catholic faith, drawing men to accept it. Does this happen? I answer that it has happened, and that it continues to happen. Every year not only men and women of no religious affiliation at all, but members of every denomination, in considerable numbers, enter the Catholic Church. Statistics for Australia on this point are not recorded. But in England about 12,900 persons are received into the Catholic Church each year, and in the United States the number is over 40,000. This is a fact the significance of which is very commonly overlooked. I venture to think that most non-Catholics who are listening to me have never considered the importance of this fact, even if they have been aware of it. The significance of the fact. Let us look squarely at it. Every year thousands of men and women of every class of society and of every variety of religious belief conscientiously think it their duty, after very complete investigation, to become members of the Catholic Church, while there is no such corresponding movement from the Catholic Church to other bodies. Here is a fact, and, like every fact, it must have a rational explanation. Before looking for explanations, let us examine the fact a little more closely. It is true that Catholics, for various reasons, at times give up the practice of their religion. The Catholic Church is not a mere friendly or benefit society. She imposes strict obligations on her members, and fidelity to her teaching demands a large measure of self-sacrifice, and often real heroism. Catholics, because human, can grow careless and negligent and fall away. We often are concerned with the problem of this leakage. But you do not find respected and conscientious Catholics becoming good Anglicans or Presbyterians or Methodists or Baptists, whereas you do find conscientious and respected members of every denomination coming into the Catholic Church. Anyone can think immediately of a list of names like those of Father Martindale, Monsignor Ronald Knox, Dr. Orchard, G.K. Chesterton, Arnold Lunn, and a dozen others. No one could think of a single name, equally respected, of one who for conscientious reasons left the Catholic Church to find a spiritual home elsewhere. It is not a remark I would make myself, but perhaps I may quote the saying of Lord John Russell, when someone offered him as consolation the fact that people passed from Rome to the Church of England as well as the other way. That is all very well. But while the Church of England loses some of its fairest flowers to Rome, we get in return only the weeds that the Pope throws over his garden wall. We now take this state of affairs for granted, but there must be some reason for it. The fact which I am discussing becomes more striking when we consider the great variety of classes represented among those who make their submission to Rome. There are among them, of course, a great number of humble folk, who are very dear to God, but will never make a name for themselves in this world. On the other hand, lists could be given of hundreds of people of high rank and title in England who have entered the Catholic Church. There is a constant stream of clergymen coming over, and they should be in a position to know what they are doing. Monsignor Robert Hugh Benson was a son of an Archbishop of Canterbury, for example, and Monsignor Ronald Knox is the son of an Anglican bishop of the extreme Protestant school. This reminds me of a passage in the memoirs of another English Protestant bishop, 40 Years On, by Bishop Weldon. He is very critical of bishops' wives, and sets out the advantages of celibacy for the clergy, ending with the argument that unmarried clergy do not beget sons who go over to the Church of Rome. Among those who became Catholics are university professors, men of science, and distinguished writers, men who are not likely to act rashly, or without having made a close study of the step they are taking. There are members of every profession and walk of life. This year I can recall offhand, among other cases, a vice-admiral of the Mediterranean Fleet and a Dutch cabinet minister. Some are quite young, at school or university. Others are men of mature years and experience. When the distinguished judge, Lord Brampton, better known as Sir Henry Hawkins, became a Catholic in his old age, I said, at least it cannot be put down to the impetuosity of youth. The question of motive An important point to remember is that every single one of the thousands who enter the Catholic Church every year must first receive a complete course of instruction in Catholic doctrine, and must understand clearly the basis of the claims of the Catholic Church. Further, they cannot be received into the Catholic Church simply because they are willing to be Catholics or consider the Catholic religion to be as good as any other, or even better than others. They must be convinced in their hearts that Jesus Christ founded one church, and that church the Catholic Church, and that it is strictly obligatory on everyone to become a member of it. We want people to become Catholics, but not on any terms. It would be wrong for me or any other Catholic priest to receive anyone into the Catholic Church who was not genuinely and sincerely convinced that the Catholic Church had authority from God and was the only true church. That it is which gives its force to this argument drawn from all these converts. Every one of them must have real conviction. It is true that non-Catholics are sometimes led to inquire into the claims of the Catholic Church through human motives. But they cannot enter the Catholic Church for any merely human motive. I had the experience once of a young fellow who came to me for instruction in the Catholic religion chiefly because his intended wife, a staunch Catholic, insisted. After we had gone a certain distance in our study, I said to him one day, "And now, Jack," this not being his name, "you understand the Catholic position fairly well. What do you think of it all?" "Well," said Jack, of course I came in the first case because of Mary, this, again, not being her name, but even if we separated now I would have to go on with it. You may begin to inquire for various reasons, mere curiosity, for instance, but you can become a Catholic only for one motive, because you sincerely believe that the Catholic Church is the one true church, and that it is your duty to be a member of it. It is well worth noticing, too, that a large number of those who enter the Catholic Church have to make sacrifices to do so. Natural motives are, more often than not, altogether against the step. It means braving public opinion in many cases and conquering human respect. More, it means sometimes estrangement from friends. Families will, it seems hard to believe, sometimes disown those who follow their conscience and enter the Catholic Church. Even means of livelihood have sometimes to be sacrificed by those whom God calls to the Catholic Church. And so I repeat, here's a fact of the greatest significance. Every year thousands of upright and honorable men and women of every shade of belief, after much study and prayer, make their submission to the authority of the Catholic Church, though the step involves often great sacrifices, and then find in the Catholic Church all that they expected and more. On the other hand, you will not find good and earnest Catholics leaving their mother to seek elsewhere the spiritual nourishment which she has been unable to provide. Not only does this not happen, but it is a thing no one expects to happen. What is the explanation? A fact like that needs a rational explanation. What explanation can you give, but the one which I suggested at the outset, that the Catholic Church has reason and truth on her side? If I knew of any other reasonable explanation, I would put it forward and discuss it. But I know of no possible explanation, nor, with years of experience as professor of philosophy in putting objections and difficulties to students, can I even imagine any plausible explanation but one. That is why I put forward the fact of the steady stream of earnest converts as a very strong confirmation of what I have been maintaining here for some weeks, that the Catholic Church has a reasonable case, which when examined seriously and without prejudice, must commend itself to the human mind. I have come to the end. I began this series of talks by analyzing the causes of the neglect of religion today outside the Catholic Church, and showing that the Catholic Church alone could offer what men wanted. In a preliminary outline, I proved that the Catholic Church was the true defender of reason, and took her stand on reason. I then pointed out that she, was not always met by her opponents on the ground of reason, and that logic was not wanted by many of those who were hostile to the Catholic Church. Even in the case of the ordinary man, I showed the real danger of being blinded by prejudice and the harm that might result. I put before you the logic of the Catholic position as a whole, and gave you the example of the reasonableness of individual Catholic doctrines. I drew a picture of the confusion and contradiction that reign outside the Catholic Church. Finally, I have now suggested a test of the reasonableness of the Catholic case, the results of which must impress anyone who gives them consideration. And now the practical application. I have always assumed that, in so far as I was speaking to non-Catholics, I was speaking to people of goodwill who were anxious to do what was right. Let us put this goodwill to the test. If you were convinced that the Catholic Church was established by Jesus Christ, and that it was His will that you should be a member of it, would you become a Catholic? Even if there were difficulties in any way, danger of the alienation of friends, or of loss of position and consequent suffering for wife and children, would you face this if you knew it was God's will? Further, if it were shown that the Catholic Church had at least a reasonable case, and was in fact the only church that really appealed to reason and could give a reasoned statement of its position, would you believe it to be your duty to examine that claim seriously? Surely I have proved that much, at least. What are you going to do about it? I ask Catholics who are listening to me to pray for their non-Catholic brethren. I ask those of you who are non-Catholics to get out of the groove along which you have been going, to lay aside opinions that you have held without examination and without logical basis, and give earnest, unprejudiced consideration to the claims of the Catholic Church. I beg of you even more earnestly to ask God for light and grace. Neither my talking nor your own investigations can give you, by themselves, the true faith. Intellectual conviction is not enough. Faith is a gift of God. Remember that it is no party spirit that I make these requests. I am moved only by what I believe to be the will of Jesus Christ, the Redeemer of mankind, and by regard for your own best interests. Through the Catholic faith you would be able to know more surely God's will, and would get powerful help in the often difficult task of doing God's will. You would in the Catholic Church obtain more easily forgiveness of sin. You would have sure guidance in many problems that sorely perplex mankind. You would have a fuller knowledge of God's revelation to men, and a closer intimacy with Jesus Christ. You would be on a safer path to eternal life. On this account, it would be the greatest calamity for any one of you if prejudice, or timidity, or indifference prevented you from making a thorough